Hello friends, how you doing? Day 594. I'm just at home, walking outside, doing some grounding. And my, oh my, what an amazing weekend I had in Tacoma. Woo, I was down there for a conference. My heart is full, and I'll just start off with saying that I love you. I appreciate you in my life. I hope that you know that. And I hope that you know you are important. Even if I've never met you, I love you. Why? We're all the same family, the human family. Anyways, so obviously crossing into the States and in this kind of crazy time, pandemic, supposedly we're still in, I had to do some research to understand what I can and cannot do. Entering the States, entering Canada, so forth. And so, uh, yeah, so essentially, obviously I made it down to the States and coming back, I had to understand, okay, what do I need to know? Okay. And so, first of all, it's understanding number one, what is Canada built on? And what is the order of importance, if you will? And so, number one, at the top of that list, if you will, is God. Number two is man slash woman. And the number three is the government. Okay? And so, your human rights are more important than whatever the government puts out as mandates or laws or what have you. And if done properly, government officials are actually there. They're actually supposed to be servants, meaning they're supposed to serve the people of the country. However, I think nowadays, I don't know, we got some people who are power tripping, ego, what have you. Obviously, there are some, not all. Just like in anything, there's always a few bad apples that kind of ruin it for the rest. And so, the information I'm going to share probably will help anybody who maybe don't want to have their information shared or stored, or maybe people who are unvaxxed, or maybe people who are just don't want to, very private. And so, anyways, if you're going to travel and you want to enter into Canada, if you're a foreign national, then you have to fill out the ArriveCAN app. If you're a Canadian, you actually don't have to. However, if you do, then you are signing a contract. And you're allowing them to store your information for 2 years, where they can share with any party that they choose to. And so, if you read on the site itself, it actually says that if you are a Canadian or a permanent resident, you will not be denied into Canada. So you don't actually have to fill it out, whether you're vaxxed or not vaxxed. You don't have to fill your information out so that they can store it and give it to whoever they want to. And let's see here. And so I had to look into that. I'm like, oh, okay, that is right. And then also, I should have brought my passport with me. But if you look on the first page of the passport, it says that the bearer of this passport is free to enter Canada at any time and will not be denied entry and will not be hindered. And so the Border Patrol, their job really is just to make sure that you're not smuggling any people or things into the country, right? That could harm it. However, nowadays, they also have, public health out there. And a lot of times they will actually refer you if you refuse to fill out the ArriveCAN app. And the thing is, they are actually two separate entities, meaning they're actually not connected. And so you don't actually ever have to go talk to the PHO, the public health officer at the border, if you want to come back into Canada, again, if you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. You will never be denied back into your country. And so when you go to the border, you have a choice. You have many choices as a citizen. You don't actually have to choose. You have a choice to not answer all the questions they ask you. Because again, if it's outside of their jurisdiction, then you don't need to actually answer it. And so, obviously, they'll ask the normal questions: where'd you go? How long you were there for? What have you, right? Obviously, you should answer those because they're doing the job to make sure that they protect our borders. So thank you, border officials. But when they start to talk about health stuff like vaccine, passport, all that stuff, they actually, that's not their job. That's not their duty. Yes, there's a quarantine act, but if you actually read it, um, well, I'm not gonna get too much in that. All that stuff you actually don't have to disclose. You don't have to disclose any information. You don't have to actually share your phone number, address, any of that stuff. And so, but of course they can pull you over at any time if they suspect something that may harm the country, or against either customs or immigration. So again, number one, remember they're just doing the job, right? Don't be a dick. Don't be rude. Don't be mean, right? They're just doing their job. So answer politely, respectfully, obviously. If you don't want to answer something, just you can decline, right? I'm talking about health stuff, right? So if they ask you, did you fill the ArriveCan app? You can, obviously say no. Say why not, or I can help you with that. Well, you can choose to, thank you for the offer, but I decline, because you don't have to. Again, just read on the site through ArriveCan. But if you have the app, it says right there, you don't have to actually fill it out if you're a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. And so if you just understand what they're allowed and not allowed to do, that's fine. But if they insist on bringing you into the we'll talk to the PHO, you can just you can decline that as well, and just ask if it why you can, well, again, be respectful, be nice. Why am I being why are you bringing me in to talk to them, right? So okay, I decline that as well. Thank you for asking, but choose not to talk to them. If they say, well, you have to go, or whatever, you just ask them, okay, well, am I being detained? And the answer should be no, again, assuming why they want you to go in is about your not filling out the ArriveCan app. And so if it's not about that, just ask them, okay, am I free to go? Because you're a Canadian citizen, right? Again, read the front page of your passport. It tells you right there that you are free to go enter into your country without hindrance. So a few things about that. Again, man, there's so much I can share on this, my thoughts. But I think a lot of it's a lot more better as a private conversation than just to throw a bunch of stuff out. Because again, people are still there's a lot of people are still very fearful of life and how things are and everything. And I think after 2.5 years, there's a lot of data now that has been collected. And so I think what's important is for people to ask questions. Just ask questions and try to understand what's happening and why, and does it make sense to actually do certain things. Because they're talking about third or fourth booster. Like, what are vaccines designed to do anyways, right? I think in general, like the measles or polio or whatever it was, like when you take the vaccine, it was expected to actually rid of it, right? But after however many shots, if it still hasn't rid, then what is it actually doing for you? That would be my question. And I think after 2.5 years, we have enough data to actually go off and make better decisions or different decisions if it warrants, right? We're allowed to pivot and change direction. And I was just reading up on how Pfizer, they want to actually have the legal authority to not disclose any of their information for 77 years. 77 years! By that time, most of us would have died who ever took the vaccine. But I believe, again, I didn't check. I was going to check it, I forgot to check it, but before going live. But apparently the Supreme Court said no, you can't hide the information for 77 years, which I think is great because we need more transparency. If it's right, great. What do you have to hide? If it's wrong, right? Obviously, they don't want to be liable. They don't want to pay a ton of money out if they're liable, what have you. But my question is it helping society? What is it actually doing? Because at the end of the day, they're making freaking billions of dollars. And I don't mind if they're actually if you will, saving the world. But I am very interested in seeing what the info comes out once Pfizer is required to release it to the public, because obviously it can be a very divisive topic, and I've talked on about it a few times. But really, again, I just encourage you guys, if you listen to this, try not to be emotional about it. Just ask questions. Try to understand. Don't jump to a conclusion, my friends, because that doesn't help anybody. What are you gonna be, all emotional and yell at people? What's that gonna do? How's that help? Let's focus on the solution. Okay? But the only way you can do that is by using your brain, not your emotions. It doesn't help. It won't help. And so, anyways, that's what I went through last night. I thought I'd just figured I'd share with people to let them know if you're afraid to travel, if you're afraid to whatever, right? That it's important to just know your rights, what you're allowed, what you're not allowed to do. What is the government really doing? And are they overstepping? Because if they're overstepping, I think we should really question. Because again, they're supposed to be servants for us, the citizens, right? Government first is supposed to be serving us. But anyway, I just know that certain things are worth the risk, which I did this weekend, which was freaking amazing. It was definitely worth it. I was very happy to get around some positive people who were not full of fear and focusing on the negative, because really life will always be full of negative things, negative circumstances, negative people. Oh my gosh. Let's try not to contribute to the negativity, my friends. Let's just, again, unite. We are one, okay? Let's help each other, not judge each other, not try to shame each other, not try to guilt each other. But let's have a conversation, okay? And come to the table. Hopefully you can come to the table with actually facts and things thought out, okay? That's the only way we can actually help each other and move forward. But anyway, hopefully that helps some of you guys. And another thing is, I was just having a conversation with a neighbor, and I said, you know what we should know is what can the police actually do and cannot do in Canada. What can they search and what can they not? And he was saying that police actually cannot search your glove box or trunk without a warrant, unless something I forget. But anyways, that's something I want to look into as well, because it's important to know what our rights are and what we can and what cannot do, right? So anyways, just something I just wanted to kind of share with you guys. And educate yourselves, my friends. That is important. And like for me, I kind of knew a few things, but I didn't really educate myself. I'm still educating myself, and what I'm finding, obviously I'm sharing. So why? Because I want more people to be informed, but don't just take my word for it. Do your own research, okay? I did my own research, and then I talked to other people who did their own research, and then we started talking. I said, oh, okay, cool. And when I say other people, it's not people who are just pissed off at the situation. It's people who actually analyze and read things and goes deep. So anyway, that's all I got to share, my friends. I'm just so grateful that I live in a great country where I am free and can make my own choices. And that's all I want to share. This is gonna be too long, so have a great night, my friends. I'll talk to you soon.